Welcome back to the 5THWAVE podcast. I'm Jeffrey Young, Editor-in-Chief of 5THWAVE. In today's episode, we're sharing two more standout conversations recorded live on stage at the European Coffee Symposium last year, featuring Brazil's The Coffee and Germany's Lap Coffee. Both are highly ambitious, scalable brands built for the modern consumer. In this first conversation, Frank Maeda, head of Europe at The Coffee, discusses the brand's rapid global expansion. The brand is characterized by Japanese minimalism and high-tech efficiency. He also explores The Coffee's digital-first mindset, including the decision to develop its own software systems in-house to deliver a seamless grab-and-go experience.
Well, I'm Frank. I'm responsible for I'm heading the operations in the continent of Europe for the past 4 years that we have been here. We are mostly present in the southern part of Europe, but as well recently in the Benelux, Austria, and in Italy. And it has been like a challenge, especially to myself, because mostly I am responsible for developing the market. And this is basically what I have been doing in the past 4 years that we have been present here. The Coffee itself, it's a company founded in 2018. March 2018 in Brazil.
2018 only?
Yes.
How many stores?
Nowadays we have 317.
317 stores, guys?
Yes.
Wow.
We are present, we were founded in 2018 March, and it took us a year to develop our business model, how we would like to operate, how we plan as well since the beginning, how we could expand and how we could promote the specialty coffee industry in Brazil, which is something that is now quite, back in the time wasn't usual. It's a culture that has been booming in the past 5 to 6 years. And in 2019, we happened to decide to grow in a strategy hybrid in between own stores and a franchise model.
Wow.
This is mainly what we have been doing so on. And yes, fortunately, we have been expanding nowadays. Prior to this day, we are currently present in 24 countries, and within 3 weeks, we will be present finally in 27 countries.
Wow!
Opening US, Kazakhstan, and UK very shortly next week, actually.
Phenomenal! Wow!
Yes.
So, and how many stores in Brazil?
We have something around 169 stores, or if I'm not mistaken, 169. Yes.
Right. So nearly more than half of your stores outside.
Exactly. Now we, as I was saying in the beginning, we started expanding internationally 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And mainly starting our foothold in Iberia, in Portugal and in Spain, where we are heavily present. And after this, we started developing Latin American countries. Nowadays, we are very concentrated in between South Latin America and Europe now.
So the brand has an absolute distinctive Japanese design to it. I wonder if you could tell us about the original vision, the founders. Yeah, tell us about that story.
Of course.
And it's interesting that it's coming from Brazil as well.
Yes. Funny fact, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Brazil hosts the biggest Japanese community outside of Japan. It sums up to almost 4 million persons. Me, myself, I'm part of this community. And not only this exchange of cultures that has been ongoing back and forth in the past 100 years, which Brazil as a nation and a country likes to mix up cultures from all other places into its own culture. The Japanese influence is heavily present, and it's our biggest Asian community. The influence of the concept was mainly because one of the founders, which is Carlos, the current CEO of the company, happens to go very frequently to Japan, and we started to see that in terms of coffee culture, we were not developing the market itself because it wasn't common. There was nobody doing this, so he collected the concept. He tried to combine the aesthetic and the principles and the values of the Japanese working ethic in towards a coffee business, and that's how we came up with the coffee.
Wow. Yeah. And it seems to me that it's a small format concept. Is that safe to say? The ones that I've seen?
Sure.
Clearly Japanese, but also you're using technology.
Sure.
ordering on tablet. Is that across all stores?
It's not the reality for all the stores. We have been shaping and reformatting, especially after COVID. We understand that we need to develop and attach a bigger variety of offers to our customers and clients. But our initial goal was exactly trying to reuse spaces that wasn't meant to be a coffee place, and of course, since we were looking for smaller or tiny cracks in big avenues, we had to be inventive and creative. In terms of space, our first store had only 4 meters square.
Yeah.
And the facade had only 1 meter 62 centimeters. So we need to make the operation as slimmer as possible. So we cannot have a cashier. We cannot have multiple things. So we came up with technology on the side in order to not only standardize the operation, but as well to generate an easier operation for the barista to focus only in the coffee itself, and how to prepare and to produce a better beverage instead of having to go through administrative operations as well. So point of sales are mainly developed by us. We have a team of developers. And nowadays, the ERP software is also developed in-house. So stocking controls, HR softwares, everything is built in-house and developed to be connected in this whole single solution that is our software. So smartphones, ordering apps, delivery apps, everything is connected through APIs and SDKs to different platforms such as Uber and so on, which is in some countries a very important source of revenue as well. Not very commonly and not super important perhaps in Europe, but in Latin American countries and Southeast Asia, it's a very important, vital connection with the market itself.
And cashless, is that predominant across the...
we are not cashless because legally the force of acceptance of the cash is mandatory in most of the countries you operate.
Okay.
But I would say like 97% of our ops are done cashless, and nowadays 3% are paid by cash. We accept. We are not like a no cash. We have no cash policy. We do accept. We just prefer to accept digital payments or card payments.
You mean it's a hybrid of company owned and franchise. Is that going forward? Is there going to be more franchising, or what's the business model there?
Of course, the strategy was to expand healthily and in a way that we could generate an industry and create awareness of our brand. And the strategy by the time was, of course, franchise, because we didn't have enough manpower to scale. And then nowadays we are something around 20% owned stores and 80% franchise. And of course, the idea for the next years, since we are also a company that has a venture capital that has invested on us, is to make it more square, to be more stable. Perhaps we're gonna see us in the past 5 years investing ourselves directly and creating more spaces and more stores
and stores,
and probably developing new markets ourselves instead of going with the franchise model.
Yeah, certainly adding that bigger value to the ultimate valuation.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's the goal of the investors as well.
Yeah. And just back to tech quickly, you've built your own tech system. Delivery, is that embedded into it? Loyalty, have you got all that?
Yeah, we do have some solutions. We are always trying to, as a software product, we always try to generate solutions that are not analogical. So we always try to connect inside of our ecosystem, as I used to say, APIs that will connect and will communicate with third-party softwares that operates broadly in the industry, such as delivery, for instance, but as well as loyalty programs, which is something that we can be doing not only with something in an analogical way, but in a more technological way. So we do have our app. Our app represents averagely, in Europe is a bit less, but on average is 17% of our revenue comes straight from our app.
Yeah.
So we have, it's very important and vital for us to have those users. in our database, because we can communicate, we can understand, we can follow behaviors, patterns in order to develop and deliver what exactly they're looking for.
Wow. Sounds like an exciting business. 25 countries now, 27 in a few weeks' time.
Yes.
Wow. What's next for the coffee?
Well, our mission and our goal is like trying to become not only where we are present, but whatever we are probably going to expand to. We have a goal, of course, and we are going to do this because we have already some ongoing projects to reach 40 countries next year. And
wow,
yes, and most of them, of course, are going to be in Latin America and Europe, but as well, we're gonna increase our presence in Eastern Asia and Southeast Asia, which is something that has been ongoing. Middle East is something that we need to. We are only at the moment in UAE, but we are going to expanding to Qatar and Oman and Kuwait in the next year. So this is probably our goal, and our goal mainly is to we see each other as potential ambassadors for a more democratic specialty coffee scene for the future, not being so specialty, so become just coffee, just what it is, something that is affordable and part of everybody's life, not only to bubbles or certain type of people.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Next year, we hear from Tonalli Arreola, co-founder of Lap Coffee. Launched in 2023, Lap has grown quickly to 25 stores across Berlin, Munich, and Hamburg, and continues to add roughly 2 shops a month. In this great conversation, Tonalli shares how automation and digitization help Lap Coffee to free up baristas' time and put more focus on the hospitality experience. He also reflects on the challenges that come with building a fast, venture-backed brand and how Lap has navigated coffee industry controversy along the way. Tell us about Lap Coffee. What made you just decide to open a coffee chain first and foremost?
I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of time in producing countries. I lived some time in Colombia, where I had the chance to meet and get to know the coffee industry and the producing industry. And it was clear for me that I wanted to build something in the space. And when I decided that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, launch a business, it was very obvious that I wanted to build a modern coffee brand that makes specialty coffee more accessible to everyone, that creates spaces for belonging where people can join, where everybody's welcome and everybody can afford a great cup of coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us. So, how many stores at the moment? Just a quick fire background on the brand.
Yeah. So currently we're live in 3 cities: Berlin, Munich, and Hamburg, with 24 stores.
24 stores already.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, it's going fast, right?
Yeah. We started the business in 2023.
Yep.
And the first coffee shop launched it here in Berlin Mitte.
Yeah, I was there 2 days ago with taking a group of some of the people who might be in the room. Yeah.
Nice.
Nebulous.
What did you guys drink?
The stuff were absolutely very, very, very friendly, by the way. Yeah, limited store. That is the original, the OG store. Yeah, great. I had a cortado because we were drinking a lot of coffee, so I had to pace myself. But yeah. Okay. Well, so 24 stores. What's the growth plan?
Yeah, so we will continue growing in Germany. We keep getting on a daily basis hundreds of messages of people that want to have us in their neighborhoods, and we see that there's a huge opportunity to offer equitable access to great coffee to more people than just in Berlin, Munich, and Hamburg.
And just for transparency, Lap Coffee.
Yes.
Spell it out for us.
It stands for Life Among People.
Among people.
Yes. Life, LAP, Life Among People. And this is what we want to do. We want to bring people together. We want to create spaces that are accessible to everyone, and create some lively neighborhoods.
And how many stores do you think you'll open next year?
The planning is still ongoing, but we will. I mean, we've been growing at a rate of around 2 coffee shops per month.
Two per month.
Yes.
So it's quite possible that you might be 50 stores by the end of 2026.
There's a world where that could happen.
Wow. Is there a theoretical 3-year plan? What could that look like?
I think we're going to continue with that growth, and the focus is always to go to places where people want us, and strongly believe that there's a big need in the market for the accessibility, for grab and go concept, for modern brand with menu innovation, and the ability to have a matcha, a coffee on the go for a price that doesn't have to break the bank.
That's great. Okay, and so the business model is quite so it's affordable. Small format, quick service, a lot of takeaway.
Yes.
Does that sum it up in a nutshell, or tell how do you describe the business model?
Yeah. So what we see it, or how I would describe the business model is essentially we create small spaces for people to enjoy specialty coffee, ceremonial grade matchas, and we use technology, automation, and digitization in order to offer better service for our customers, better convenience, but also to free up the time of our team, of our baristas, in order to dedicate that to a hospitality experience that is unparalleled. I'm glad to hear that you
had
a great service in your visit.
I also donated some cinnamon buns that we'd acquired from Acid nearby, actually, because we had a whole bag, and the team, and I said, you guys want some of those cinnamon buns as well, because
nice.
I didn't want them to go to waste. But it's just very, very human experience. So that was absolutely fantastic. So you're often talked about as the blank street of Germany. How do you feel about that?
Well, look, there have been numerous coffee shops before Blank Street or Lab.
Yeah.
And there will be also numerous coffee shops after Blank Street or Lab. And our model of small coffee shops that are in buzzing locations that are very busy have been around also for quite a long time. If you go to Italy, there's numerous coffee bars that have very similar experience that you have, where people can come on a daily basis, get their espresso, get their cappuccino, have a conversation with their barista, spend some time, and then continue about their day. So there's definitely some parallels, but I think the model itself is something that has been around for quite some time.
Yeah, and that affordability. Don't you controversially, you've been mentioned sort of in the press, and again, you talk about wanting to be part of neighborhoods that want you, and no doubt, but there are other voices out there saying, "Oh, you're backed by venture capital, and you're just going to go in there, low prices, win the business, then jack the prices up." It sounds quite theoretical rather than the reality, I'm sure. How do you respond to those claims where it's like you're taking business away from other small businesses? Is that because that's what some people have said about Blank Street? Yeah.
So let me start with there have been some recent attacks to all of our coffee shops in Berlin. And I'm very glad that there was only property damage. No one was really hurt. And it's a debate that turned into acts of vandalism, of property damage, which is something that is very unconstructive. We're here to have conversations. Yeah. We have a chat here. Yeah. And we're also very open to discuss with anyone about any of the ramifications of it. And going or taking up the point about monopoly and bringing people out of business, the local coffee shops out of business. Quite frank, it's a bit of nonsense. The coffee market is very big. Yeah. It's also very fragmented, and there's different occasions where you might want to enjoy coffee. You might have a coffee after dinner. This is not a lab place. You might have a coffee with brunch. You might have coffee in the office. You might have coffee at home. And we at Lab, we target a very specific niche, which is convenience, which is grab and go, innovative drinks, innovative products for our customers. And our goal is to get people in Germany, which, by the way, is a country where 9 out of 10 coffees are consumed at home, not outside. We would love to get more people to enjoy coffee in a coffee shop with others and live life among people.
Yeah. Back on the pricing, because I haven't actually done the analysis, but I also am aware of a research report that Allegra did over 10 years ago now on the German coffee market, and we looked at the bakery segment, which is gigantic. There was something like 40,000 bakeries which were part of the chain, and again, and if I think about your pricing, which is sharp pricing, but I think there must be even little local bakery shops out there doing cappuccinos for €2 or less. I'm not sure. I mean, tell me about that pricing. And nobody's accusing them of being predatory, and there are all these bakery chains, and I don't know what they're pricing at, but it does seem a little bit far-fetched, and I just wanted to get your impressions of all that. Yeah,
that's right. In Germany, the majority of coffee that is consumed out of home is not consumed in your local coffee shop. Is actually in one of the many bakeries that are around in Germany, and a lot of it is also cheap coffee. The biggest difference between them and us is that we actually offer high quality specialty coffee for these prices. The bakeries have been around for quite some time. Also, if you look around here in the room, there's large brands, large coffee brands that have not put others out of business, and the market is so diverse and so big that there's definitely room for different use cases, different players to be in, and local coffee shops will continue thriving and be around for a long time.
Right, well, that's exciting. Just one final question here before we move to our a final speaker before lunch. What's your focus for the next 12 months as a business leader?
In the next 12 months, we'll continue focusing and pushing on our value proposition, which is continue offering high quality products at an accessible price to more people wherever people really want us. We will continue developing and improving our internal processes, both for the customer with more digitization, more exciting loyalty products, better order ahead options, but also on automation with newest equipments in order to make the work of a barista more fun and also the improve the interaction with our customers.
And I can't stop this final question happening. But what have you learned along the way that you've been surprised at?
I think overall I was very surprised to see how coffee that is accessible can be so controversial. Ultimately, we're seeing rising costs for a lot of different products from your groceries, from your rent, and I think that an open dialogue is extremely important. Getting into that dialogue from day one, we'll continue to do so, and we'll continue to go into the neighborhoods where people really want us.
Yeah, who would have thought that in such a price-conscious market that it might be controversial to offer lower prices? And that's all for this week's 5th Wave podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe and share the link with a friend or colleague. Also, if you're on Apple or Spotify, we'd really love a 5-star review to help us increase our reach across the industry. To stay informed, visit worldcoffeeportal.com to get access to all the latest global coffee news, including the weekly coffee dose, collecting all the big coffee news stories. Links are in the show notes. This episode was produced in the one and only Serendipity Studios in glorious Camden, North London. It was produced by myself, Jeffrey Young, Hannah Heath, and sound engineering by Chris Bristow. And this week's song in collaboration with the Coffee Music Project is Good Morning by Brazil-based artist Lua de Moraes and her daughter Sharon Moore. Until next time, stay safe, stay caffeinated, stay curious.
I love you. Good morning, love. You whisper. I feel my body shiver. My fire ignites your power, and I wanna wake up, but not too much. Good morning, love. I answer. I still don't know how this happened. Your fire ignites my power, and I wanna wake up, but not too much. Como una flor me despiertas, con tan delicada y pura inocencia despiertas entre mis brazos. Sabes que te amo. Despierta, amor, me dices. Mi piel entera se eriza, mi cuerpo enciende tu cuerpo, y entonces despierto otra vez. Despierta, amor, te digo. Aún no sé cómo fue que llegamos a despertar tantos sueños juntos, que aún sigo soñando. Good morning, my love, it is you that I want. Tell me, how did you sleep? Do you feel what I feel? Please just stay in my arms for a little bit longer. Bring heaven to me. Good morning, love, you whisper. I feel my body shiver. My fire ignites your power, and I wanna wake